I'm going to talk about the individual. I also want to talk about how this whole thing is going to unfold based on what Art was saying. He says we have to continue to use oil in order to maintain this economy. Well, maintaining this economy is a folly. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen if we keep on pumping up and holding up our system, we're actually going to speed up the race to the bottom, especially in the United States. Over the last 10 years, we've been celebrating the fact that we've got more oil than anybody else, and we're taking it out of the ground, but we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, and we're going to hit a brick wall, and it could happen, as Art mentioned, in the next couple of years. It might be 10 years, but whenever it happens, we're going to be so surprised because nobody is talking about what's on the other side of this. And so we really only have two choices. One is a radical, smooth transition off of oil, and the other is to continue in the folly that we have enough oil to carry on indefinitely. And then we're going to hit a cliff. And I don't care not what happens in that scenario. When we get to this cliff, as it were, then if there's a solar panel over there, what's going to happen if it's in an accessible place is people are going to steal them. But I'll tell you what, the guy that has stolen one solar panel is going to be way ahead of the guy that has none. So there's going to be a very unsettling period of time where solar panels, individual solar panels, are going to sell like hotcakes. They're going to become that's what people are going to trade with. You know, what difference does it make if I have a silver dollar if I can't get electricity? We've come to depend upon electricity in so many ways, and it is very valuable. I mean, it's incredible that, Benjamin Franklin, for example, in 1752, that's when he flew this kite, and he found out that, he could take static electricity and kind of like put it in a jar. It was only a couple 300 years ago when people finally learned how to do anything with electricity in a controlled, useful manner. The light bulb was invented only 5 years before my grandfather was born. This is a brand new thing for all of humanity, but we've become very dependent upon it. We're much more dependent upon electricity than we are upon oil. And so what we've got to do, in my view of things, is really start looking at ways that we can almost trick people into getting off of oil, regardless of whether we have an alternative in place. And the fact that we're still giving subsidies and encouraging further exploitation of oil it's a dead end street. Again, that's going to take us to, we're going to grow a little bit more and then we're going to crash. The alternative is, for whatever reason, whether it's for climate change or for just because of good sense, we're getting off of oil, or even maybe we think about our future generations. Art said the other day on your program that oil is relatively cheap. You know why it's cheap? It's because we're stealing it from our children, our children's children's children. That's why it's cheap. We're stealing it from the future. And nobody from the future is here now to defend themselves against us stealing all of those resources that could be available to future generations if we had the slightest notion of how valuable that would be to them in that time of the future.